up, YouTube family? It's your girl Amorashanti with my first ever YouTube video. I've been saying that I was gonna drop a YouTube channel for so long, so here I am, first video. And so with my channel, I'll be talking about financial literacy, a little bit of beauty, and I want to kind of do like vlogs as well. So I'll throw in everyday vlogs and we'll talk about some financial literacy on the channel as well. So we are in the fourth quarter. We're at the end of the fourth quarter. It's 2025. We're going into 2026. We don't want to go into 2026 with no bad credit, y'all. We don't want to go into 2026 with bad credit habits, bad financing habits. So we're gonna start it early. I know a lot of people talk about New Year's resolution, January 1st. No, we're going to start it now. It's November 2025, and we're going to go ahead and get you guys together. So today we'll be talking about how to pay your credit card correctly. A lot of people know of paying their credit card on the due date, which that is fine and dandy, but I am going to teach you how to pay your credit card correctly to get the most credit points possible. So let's get into it. All right, so I don't know if y'all can see this. I got my whiteboard out for y'all. So there are two important dates when it comes to paying your credit card. So we have the due date and then we have the statement date. Most people only know the due date. They pay the minimum amount due on their due date, which is fine, but I'm going to tell you how we do this thing. So it's the due date, which is the date that you have to pay the minimum amount on your credit card. Then you have the statement date. So statement date. So due date and then the statement date. I know y'all probably can't see this, but so we have the due date and then we have the statement date. So there is a difference between the due date and the statement date. So the due date is the deadline by which you must make the minimum payment on your credit card balance to avoid late fees and damage to your credit report. Now, for the statement date is the credit card company, and when the credit card company ends your billing cycle, and then they generate a monthly statement. So this represents a snapshot of your credit activity for that period, and any transactions after your statement date, it'll appear on the next statement, the next month statement. So I'm gonna get into how you pay your credit card and why the due date and the statement date matters. We got the statement date. The statement date is really more important than the due date, in my opinion. Now, of course, we want to make that minimum payment due on the due date so we can avoid late fees and we can avoid it'll still report negative to your credit report if you don't make that due date, the minimum payment due on the due date. But the statement date is the date that it reports to the credit bureaus. Now, for example, let's say that you have a due date of your credit card on the 4th. So let's say that you got a credit card balance of, let's keep it simple, say $1,000. Let's just keep it simple math. $1,000, and your credit card is due on the 4th of the month, and your statement date is due on the 7th. Now, this means that you need to have that minimum payment, the minimum payment that's due on the 4th, you need to have that in at minimum on the 4th of the month. Now, come the 7th, whatever you spent on your credit card, you need to have it paid up as much as you can by the statement date, really before the statement date, because it reports on the statement date on the 7th. So the 7th rolls around. When the 7th rolls around, that means you need to have whatever you spent on that credit card, you need to have it paid up as much as possible before the 7th, because it reports to the credit bureau on the 7th in this example. So that means you need to have your credit card paid up as much as possible. Let's just say, for example, your minimum payment due is $25. You have $1,000 credit card. You went, you balled out, you went to go buy whatever you went to go buy. You went to go buy a section at the club, you popping bottles, you was partying, whatever. Whatever you did, you spent $900. You spent $900 on your credit card. By the 4th, you can make a $25 payment minimum on the 4th. But come the 7th of the month, you need to pay as much as that $900 as possible. You need to pay it. You need to pay that up as much as possible on the 7th. Well, before the 7th, before it reports to the credit bureau. Now I know you're thinking like, okay, why I need to do that? Like I'm not understanding. I'm gonna tell you now. The reason why you need to have the majority of your credit card paid up on the statement date is because once it reports to the credit bureaus, it's going to report your credit utilization. But my suggestion is to always report a 10% utilization or less. The lower your utilization is that you report to the credit bureaus, the better you look to the bank, and also the higher your credit score is going to be. Credit utilization make up 30% of your credit score, and that's a huge chunk of your credit score. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our credit utilization low. If you have a high credit utilization, you just come off overly reliant on the credit card, which is not a good look for the banks. They don't like to see that you're overly reliant. It starts to make you look irresponsible. And we don't want that. We want to be able to get low interest rates. We want to be able to get the best credit limits and the best loans possible. So it is important to keep your credit utilization low. So 10% or less. All right, now just to confirm with y'all, in order to enhance y'all credit score, y'all need to be paying down the majority of your credit card on the statement date. The statement date. So if you don't know when your statement date is, you can look at your statement. It should have your statement date on most credit cards. If it don't, you can just simply call your credit card company and ask for your statement date. Another tip that I will give y'all is if you have a due date that you are just like, I cannot pay the minimum due, or I can't pay on this date, it doesn't work with your pay dates or whatever it may be, then you can always call your credit card company. I know they let you do it once or twice or something like that. You can call your credit card company and you can ask to change the due date. So I would suggest changing it to a due date that matches your pay date, or whenever you get paid if you're an entrepreneur or whatever it may be. Change that due date to something that best fits you in your situation. That way, you'll be able to pay the minimum amount due on your due date, and then you can make sure the majority of that credit card is paid up on the statement date. That is the lesson for today. Like I said, it's not going to be just whiteboard action and teaching. I'm going to be taking you on vlogs. We'll do like some day in the life or whatever it may be, beauty, whatever I may be dropping. But I will be dropping credit education on this channel. So stay tuned in. Follow me on Amorashantiofficial. Follow me on Instagram, and it is Amorashantiofficial on TikTok as well, and Facebook. So that's AMORASHANTI official OFFICIAL. And I will be dropping videos every Sunday. So stay tuned. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because we family now. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in my next video.